Hey, how you doing there, my dear friends? It's Dan. Oh man, I'm in beautiful, beautiful Lake Susie, Florida. Yes, there is a place called Lake Susie, and I'm at it. I'm at Lake Susie. Here, I got a little story to tell you. I bombed at a speaking event a number of years ago. And when I say I bombed, I mean it was terrible. There was carnage. I bombed so badly that when this thing was over, I literally wanted to sneak out of the building and just run, just flee. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone who was present at the event. It's a horrible thing to bomb like this. But I didn't run, didn't do that. And afterward, the person who invited me to the event, he was embarrassed. Of course he was, because he was the one who set this whole thing up. He was the poor guy who invited me to be the one to come and speak, so he didn't look too good either. And since he was hurt and embarrassed by how badly this whole thing went, no kidding, he seemed to think that it would be a good idea to sort of take me into another room. We did this, we went into another room, and he explained to me that it was very bad, and he tried to coach me on how it could have been better. And I know this sounds very mean. He was a nice guy. He didn't mean to do this, but his talk with me after the event was over just further increased my humiliation at the whole thing. I'm telling you, this happened more than 30 years ago, but even though it was a long, long time ago, I still cringe. I'm not kidding. I cringe today when I think about that. It's sort of weird, isn't it? Yeah, to still be able to feel embarrassment, like your face getting red kind of embarrassment from something that happened that long ago. Here's why I bring this up. I'm learning something. I say I'm still learning something. For a long, long time, I have really, it's kind of a strange thing, but I have disliked that young guy, young me, young Dan, that young guy who did something so humiliating. I'm being very serious about this. I dislike myself, my own young self, at least this young self who bombed that night so many years ago. I dislike that guy. And what I'm learning is this about myself. That young guy was trying. He wasn't very good, but he was trying to do things. He was learning. He was getting experience. You know, you got to get some experience. There was a lot that young guy didn't know. He thought he knew. Yeah, that young guy was foolish and immature and prideful. No doubt about it. He was, for sure. But I'm learning that I need to give that young guy who bombed that night many years ago a little break. Yeah, you know what? The grace that God has extended to me and that God expects me to extend to others, that grace is also a grace that God wants me to be willing to extend to myself. I wonder if maybe there's some grace that God has extended to you that you need to extend to yourself. We're learning, right?